Sup? I have been awake for a while. I don't know why. Uh, After Otani hit that home run, it like just I don't know. It just went to shock. You see that shot? Wow, that's the first time I've ever seen him hit a home run live. That was pretty sick. And they were just saying how he only hits when people are on base. That's a good problem. He only hits when there's people on base, and then wow, that was awesome. And if you're gambling like me, you stay consistent. I bet against the Mets and I bet against the Yankees. I'm getting crushed on the Yankees right now, but I'm assuming they're not going to sweep. So I bet them to sweep as a hedge. The Yankees, that is. I didn't think the Mets were going to sweep, just in case the Yankees could sweep. It looks like they could. Um, but the reason I'm here this morning is just a gentle reminder: the market never goes down, and when it does, it goes right back up. Right? We're in a bull market; it never ends, and when it does end, it won't end. Right? So even when it does end, eventually it's going to go back up. You understand? So again, we don't have to go into the whole thing about how the president doesn't have anything to do with it, or blah 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 blah, all that stuff, right? None of it matters, but just don't be hypocritical about it. Again, I'll say my one piece about it. The same people that were championing or championing that word or rah-rahing Trump as, oh, look at the market, look at the economy, look at the market, look at the economy, right? Now that Trump said, well, the market's going to crash if it wasn't for him, that's obviously been disproved. Another reason I hate this guy beyond hate. I mean, I don't have the words to describe how much I despise this person because, blabbermouth, hypocritical, scumbag, douchebags kind of piss me off, know it alls, right? I know something, but I don't know any more than anybody else in anything else. I know a lot more about the stock market than most people, and that's it. I don't know about windmills or lights or agriculture or science or fish or hats or chemicals, but according to him, he knows more about anything. Somebody who's like, all right, so what do you know? Tell me what you know about windmills. Okay, go ahead. I'll wait it. Anyway, but the hypocrisy is that the same people that I said when they would say when the market went down for like a couple of months when Biden was president, and again, I was getting people on my Facebook page. Well, how's that market doing for you now? I'm like, okay, wait, are you implying that the market's going down because of Joe Biden? I was like, all right, so wait, when the market starts hitting all-time highs, will you give credit to Joe Biden? And the answer was no. So that's blatant hypocrisy. And that makes me sick, right? But now the same people, again, to take it to the next extreme, now those people, when I said, hey, the market's going up in spite of Trump, the market just goes up. It's not about him or economic policies, right? We'll get into this later, but it's not about him or economic policies. The market goes up. It's built to go up. There's money flowing into it constantly. Right now, there's money coming in right now. And it's whether the money managers and the hedge funds and the quantitative, the algorithms put it to use. When the market goes down, they just pull the money out for a while. It sits there. And why do you think the market goes right back up? They just say, okay, time to put it back in. And it goes right back up. So generally, it never goes down, right? All right. But the hypocrisy is that now that the market's going up every goddamn fucking day, every day, new highs, blah, 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 right? It's a new high every day, right? And again, the reason people like my uncle hate the stock market is that he buys the next something. So somebody, he'll have one of his employees or a coworker chirp in his ear, hey, yeah, I got this company looks like it's going to be the next Microsoft. You don't buy that stock, buy Microsoft. The next something is never the next something. Just buy the one that's doing well. That's why the leaders keep leading. But the hypocrisy is just so sick because now those same people and the douchebag that he is, now he's saying, well, the stock market doesn't really reflect the economy. Oh, now it doesn't reflect the economy because it doesn't fit your narrative that it was only going to go up because of you. And if you don't see that, look, I didn't do well in school. If it wasn't for my parents tutoring me and getting second and getting help, my dad was a math teacher. My mom was an English teacher. My dad was also a chemistry teacher and a math teacher. He knew sciences. My dad's a very smart guy. He helped me through school. My mom helped me write my essays, and I had, I had to really, really struggle because I obviously have ADHD and I have all kinds of, disabilities. I do, I was always the guy sitting in front of the class. I was always out, and almost plus I didn't care. I was always there to have a good time. My whole life, I just wanted to have a good time, and that's kind of who I am, right? I wasn't having a good time. I really want to pay attention. I was here to have a good time. Early on in my life, I realized, I remember when I used to get called into the dean's office and I would get scolded. My parents had to come up because I was disorderly in school. It's going to go my permanent record. Where is my permanent record? What did it matter, right? None of that mattered. I should read when they sent me to a psychiatrist when in the fourth grade, when I just wouldn't stop yapping in class. Plus I liked girls at a very young age. So I was always trying to be funny so that the girls would like me. And here we are. So I'm not the smartest guy, right? But I've been sitting here doing this for 30 years. I kind of have a knack for what I'm looking at. And now VWAP is just validating everything I've been talking about. The market is rigged. So instead of trying to find the new Microsoft like my uncle, buy Microsoft. And the market is rigged, uncle. It only goes up. Listen to my father. He invented buying dips in 1986. He told you never to take the money out of the market, the S&P 500. He was talking about index funds before index funds were a thing. He's like, buy the market. You'll never lose, and you won't ever lose. And even when the market crashes, so what? So what? It's only 20%. So the market crashes tomorrow, goes down 20%. Then what? It goes back up. So you buy more. Nobody has every penny of their life savings in the market. So when it goes down, you buy the dip. Anyway, so let's say you're sitting there still want to debate me about the market never going down, right? So yesterday you finally said, all right, I'm sick and tired of this fucking guy and saying that. All right. And you look at the futures, right? So you look at the futures, right? And so here's the futures. You're looking at the futures. You can't sleep, right? You're up at night. You can't sleep. So you say, all right, I'm going to go look at the futures. Shithead on the YouTube channel for what is it now? Going on 14 years I've been doing this on YouTube. The grandfather of day trading. I really am. So you wake up and you say, this asshole, the market's fucking going down today. NASDAQ futures are down 60. See, the market does go down. So then it's down right here, right? It's below the VWAP. It's below the 1 minute. This is futures contract. This is NQ futures. This is the QQQ of the futures, right? NQ futures, NQ mini actually. So here's the blue line. The blue line is the VWAP, right? Blue line is an institutional buying. Right? It's algorithms, right? There are not many human beings up at 1:30 in the morning. Well, in America, because again, the market is eternal. It's always open somewhere, right? And that's what the futures market's all about. So then Taiwan Semiconductor reports earnings and they're fucking blowing it out. Of course they are, because it's called progress. You think the chip industry is just going to start going down? Why? We just started going up, right? AI just started. We could be on the precipice of another 20-year bull market. And the chips are going to lead the way. Technology is going to lead the way. The market's not going to go down. It's just, anyway. But let's say you still don't believe it. Let the VWAP and prior day VWAP and range breaks be your guide. So here, forget this one. This line doesn't matter right now. That was one of my targets. And again, you see how the red line was there? That was just because that was a key moment a couple of days ago. Right? And you see how it comes into play? Because the market is rigged. I didn't draw this red line today. I drew this red line. Let's see when I drew this one. I drew this on the 11th of October. Today is the 17th. Look how it comes back into play, because the market's rigged. And it's rigged to remember the prices that were significant from days before. But more importantly, it's rigged to VWAP. It definitely is. No doubt. So once you get over today's VWAP and over prior day VWAP and over the range from where you couldn't break once, twice, thrice, four times, buy it. And then generally, when you get the futures market to start trending, it generally trends right to the US Open. And here you are. And here you are on one contract. And again, should have bought 2 contracts to give myself, a little bit more, to make some more money. At least with one contract, you can't do anything. You put a stop on it, you get stopped out, it's done. You sell it, and you don't have anything left. So you really can't do much, right? But you buy one contract right here. That was 2,000. So let's call it just 310. 310, and now we're at 510. That's 200 points on one contract. That's $4,000 for doing nothing. You're doing nothing. You risked $250. You made 4 grand. The market never goes down. What can I tell you? So now you come in and you're sitting with a 4 grand profit, and now the casino opens up, and you're sitting there as if the casino just handed, here, Mr. Jones, here's some play money, go for it. So now you go back to focusing on, the Alcoas, which I told you guys about, coming out of that 3-year downtrend, right? Woohoo! Coming out of the 3-year downtrend. Come on. Where's it going to go? It's going to go to 44.62. Where is it today? 44.68. Right there. Now, if we break through that 44.62, where you get to 45.72, you're probably looking at a $52 stock. You know why? Because the market never goes down. Love Alcoa. Come on, Google me. If you Google Kenny Glick loves Alcoa, I wrote like articles back in the day. This used to be my favorite stock. I love Alcoa. You guys remember the Alcoa, right? Gregory Mannarino liked it, and then he ruined it for us. So, all right, so you got the Alcoa. But, all right, so I just want to show those charts I showed you again. I'm finding more and more stocks that are breaking out. What's that tell you? Market's going up. And these are just, again, we're not, I hate to break it to you. I'm probably not going to be able to find you a Carvana again, but you have to understand when I see the Carvana pattern, the Dolly Parton, and again, you don't see it here, but it was more apparent when it started to form. Whoop. There it is. That's the Dolly Parton double Kardashian multi-year VWAP break. And that's why Carvana was my favorite stock. But more importantly, why was it really my favorite stock? Because people were still talking about shorting it at $10. And you know what? They were right for about 2 weeks. It did break 10 and it went to 3. But they were still talking about staying short. And then you had the Dolly Parton Kardashian multi-year VWAP break. It's a real thing. That's why I said, not only is the stock going to go back to 56, but if it gets through 56, it's going to go back to 90. Because the harder they fall, the more they go up, right? The harder they fall, those big ass candles, once you get into those big candles, there's no resistance in those big candles and you start to rip through them, right? That's why you got to like stocks like Clove. It's cheap. Yeah, you missed the 600% gain already, but who cares? No one's buying it at 61 cents. Here, they're thinking it's still going to 0. No one's even buying this thing at at $1. But at 250, that changes the game. 250 is a big algorithmic number. It's a big number for investors. Nobody wants to see a stock, a shorter don't want to see a stock go back above 250. And what does 250 generally get you? Get you back to 5. But more importantly, right there. You didn't have to take my word for it. Here's the Kardashian bottom. There's the multi-year VWAP. And now you're consolidating at higher levels. I don't know whether this company makes money or not. It was a terrible SPAC. Everybody lost a lot of money on the way down. And again, if this was a higher price stock to begin with, it probably have more room to go. And let's look at the lifetime of the stock, 20 years. So the high, no. So again, during the everything goes up. That was the Cathie Wood area. That was the Cathie Wood top. So everything was ripping. The stock went to $28. You can't even factor that in. Let's call it $20. If this thing was a $300 stock that went to 61 cents, it'd be a lot easier for it to get back to 30, 40, 50, 60. But 250 gets you 7. 250 gets you 7. My uncle would kill for that, right? These are great stocks to be trading right now. But I got to show you this one. Everybody knows PayPal, right? In my opinion, kind of a monopoly. There's the Cathie Wood top. Everybody was buying everything in sight, and then we crashed, and then we consolidated. So now we've consolidated. Look at the 3-year chart. The 3-year chart, we're still under the 3-year, right? So now as we turn, how does the stock, again, I don't know, but you have to keep taking these trades until they stop working. So at this point, you're like, how's this thing not going to $88? And if it gets through 88, how's it not going to go back to that 103? It's going to go back to 103. It's just, that's how it works. It's not about how much money they make. So now they're reporting at the end of the month. If they say anything good and this stock's still hovering above $77, it's probably going to have like a 10% day. It's going to tack on the 7 points. You're going to say, oh, shucks, I missed it. But right now, owning a couple of hundred shares with just with a 3 or 4 point risk to possibly make 25, 30 points, and then look at the monstrous fall. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go back there, but I don't think anybody who bought this stock with us at $78, and $78 was a chase. We missed 20 points. But buying it at 78 and having it go to 102, that's pretty good. So, I got me some PayPal. Obviously the Summit, I don't know if you guys were watching this thing, massive $2 stock, went to $33, crashed back to 18, but it held support. We bought that one back, sold it yesterday. So, again, I love day trading because I feel like I'm in more control, but you got to let this bull market work for you. Stocks are just ripping, ripping. What? All right. So today, again, going back to the earnings reports, I haven't even looked at who reported this morning, but man, oh man, it's just so sick. The market just never goes down. One of these days it's going to crash again, but you're not going to be able to predict the crash, right? And when it did crash, right, August 5th, and crushed me with that UVXY trade, what happened? We've gone up every day since, right? Every day. Every day. What was that crash all about? They made something up to loosen up some cash, and then what happens? The market goes right back up. And again, we are only, 4 or 5 points from all-time highs on the Qs. And when Netflix reports tonight, of course they're going to say something good, blah, 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 their studio, blah, 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 their commercials, blah, 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 something metric, something bullshit, something whatever. Even if it dips, what's it going to do? It's going to go down 30 points. And then what's it going to do? It's going to go back up 30 points. So it doesn't matter. I'm not going into the report or holding it, but there are some of these stocks that look so good, I might even own them going into reports. And I don't do that. So it's like that's how bullish some of these stocks look. And again, you don't have to do that. It's gambling because you never know how they're going to react. A lot of times they do sell off, even on good numbers like Goldman Sachs, but that's where you buy them. So if you see a stock like UNH, sells off, this is one of the greatest stocks of all time. No joke. Here's a 20-year chart on UNH. Hey, how come it's not working over here? Huh, my charts are not linked up together anymore. Weird. So UNH right here, one of the greatest ones of all time. They report earnings they're good. It's just people decided to take profits at all-time highs. So you say, all right, cool. Thanks for taking those profits. And then you buy it back the next day and you make 20 points. It's absolutely incredible. It really is. So what else are we looking at today? Bing, bang, boo. Love me some Alcoa, love me the chip stocks. And probably going to short UVXY back to 25. What else was popping off? Obviously the banks been ripping. Every dip's being bought. I love me some Clove. You guys see that drug stock, by the way? Here, this was funny. This DRUG. Want to see something nuts? It all started with a 1-minute multi-day VWAP reversal at $2.80. It went to $60. From 2 to 60. Again, that's a very rare case, but it happened. There is just one of these almost every day. It's amazing. But again, I don't like these stocks because you one false move. I mean, I like them when you're getting in first, and you could just have some fun with it. But later in the day, you're playing with fire. My man, my ladies, good luck. I'll see you in the chat room. Make sure you stop in. I'm still doing the 2-week trial. Come in, kick the tires, see what I'm all about. And again, the idea now we're charging $450 a month. That's our goal to make every day. So far so good. Again, I raised the stakes. It was trying to make $250 a day. Now we're trying to make $450 a day. Sometimes you don't get to the $450 on the day, but $250 still been very achievable for most people. Taking minimum risk for decent rewards, staying with money management, risk management. Your stops are not, again, it's just every trade you put on. Why am I getting in? Where do I think it's going? And more importantly, what my risk is if I'm wrong. And, haven't got much wrong. I lost on some Schwab short. Again, most stocks I lose on is short. I shorted it and came right back and ripped in my face. Lost a little money on that. Uh, there really hasn't been. Again, I'm only doing 3 or 4 trades a day, so I hit the PayPal, had the summit yesterday, and that was it. And the other day I was screaming about how not to short the Qs because it's just not a good trade, and then that happened. It was pretty funny. Again, I'm saying don't short the Qs, don't short the Qs. Oh, sorry, it was this day. And then I went out to get my oatmeal and blueberries, and I came back and they were down 5 points. I was like, wait a second, that just happened. But look, what did it do? Yesterday you flirted with the lows, and then you faux show broed, and then you trap some more shorts, and then you gap up the next day. It really is the same chart pattern almost every day with involving this market tries to go down, traps people, and then people have to cover and go long. Or it's just again, it's the algorithms too. All right. Farewell. I'll see you guys in the room later.